So what exactly is an array? An array is nothing but collection of elements. Those are stored at contiguous memory locations. Just like you see in the picture, a row of lockers. Each locker is placed one after the other, continuously, with no gaps in between. Likewise, when you create an array and shove the elements or the data into this array, all the data that you shove into the array will be stored one after the other, contiguously, with no gaps in between. Let's understand about array in deeper dimensions using this row of locker. Now, each locker, if you see, has some value stored in it. Okay. Now, to access these values, you will need a locker number. So let's say if the locker number for this is 100 and the locker number here is 200. And if I want the data or the value that is stored in this locker, I would just go to this locker number 200, open it and get my data or get the value that I want. Likewise, in the array, each block of an array, that is each element, has its own unique index that starts from 0. Now let's understand this better by considering this row of locker as array. So it starts from here and the indexing, since it starts from 0, so this will be 0 and this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now if I want to fetch the element which is stored at array of 2, so I just go to this array and what is the index? 2. So I just reach to this index and grab the value that I want. Now likewise, if I want to access array of 4, I just reach the index 4, grab the value that I want from array of 4. So simple as that. So using the indexes, which is unique for each element, I can access the data that is stored in an array. We understood what an array is, but why do we need these arrays? How are they helping us? What benefit do we get from these arrays? The answer is very simple. The arrays allow us to store multiple items of the same data type together. Let's say in your code, there is a requirement of having 10 integer to be used. So instead of declaring them separately like this, int num1, num2, num3, and keep going on till num10, rather using this type of approach, we can just declare an array and shove all the 10 integers into one single array and access them using their unique indices. That is the role of arrays. They are useful when you have multiple items of the same data type to be held together. So this can be multiple strings stored in an array, multiple integers stored in an array. Now let's say here there are only 3 integers, but imagine if you need 10,000 integers to be stored, then you cannot declare them one by one, one after the other. You will have to use an array instead. So boom, you've got one data structure that will hold 10 integers, 10,000 integers, million integers, and so forth. So we've understood what an array is and how does it benefit us. Now, in order to make use of the beneficiary aspect of an array, we should understand how do we declare an array, initialize it, and use it, exercise the beneficiary act of an array. So we can declare it this way. We first specify the data type and then we put up these square brackets and then the name of the array. So this is declaration of an array. Now if you want to initialize the array and shove some elements or put some fixed size, you can do it this way as well. So the same array that is declared, now we are specifying the size of the array. So we want an array of integer of size 5. So this will create an array with 5 blocks: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can either do it this way and then you can add elements into this array, or if not, if you have the elements or the data that you want to store into this array in handy, then you can create it like this as well. So in this case, it will again create an array, also shove the elements. That will be 10 here, 20, 30, 40, and 50. But remember, the size remains fixed. So if you are adding 5 elements here, that will be the size of the array. And if you are specifying the array of size 5, then you can only put 5 elements into this array. We are printing the array of 0, the indexing. So it will go to the 0th index and the value is 10. Likewise, we can replace it as well. So let's say for now array of 2. So this is at index 0, index 1 and index 2. So at index 2 we have the data 30. But if you don't want 30, then you can replace it with 99. So what happens? 30 is taken off and 99 is added. Right, this is how the replacement works. Having the understanding of how to declare and initialize array, let's also understand how to traverse an array after shoving the elements. How do we access all those elements in an array one by one? That is traversal of an array. For that, we can make use of this for loop. All right, so let's say we have an array. The first element is 10. The next element is 20. 30. 40. And 50. And like we have discussed earlier, the indexing starts from 0. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the array. All right, so we will start from index 0. Okay, and then we have set a condition that the I value, the index value should be less than array.length, because the length of an array is going to be 5, but it has to be less than that so that it ends right here till 4 and it does not go beyond. And then after every print we are iterating, we are incrementing the I value. So for each iteration we will be incrementing this I value. So system.out.println array of I. Since the value is 0, array of 0 will be 10. So 10 gets printed. Then it moves on. I plus plus, I is 1. 1 is still less than 5. That is the length of the array. So again, the next value is printed, array of 1. Likewise, array of 2, array of 3, and array of 4. Then again, when I gets incremented to 5, 5 is no longer less than 5, which is less array.length. So it comes out of the loop. So this is how we can traverse an array, making use of this for loop. So moving on, the next thing that we will talk about is the common operations that we can perform on an array. So we can do insertion of an element at a given index. So at any particular index, we can do the insertion. We can remove a particular element. We can visit all elements one by one, like we discussed in the previous slide. We can also find if a particular element exists or not. We can change a value at a given position. So I think this part we have discussed in the previous slide also. We will discuss each of these operations in detail with examples and the code snippets in the coming videos. For now, these are the basic operations that we can perform in an array. Now, having that said, what are the advantages and disadvantages of an array? We understood what is an array, how is it beneficial for us, how do we make use of it, and what are the other common operations that we can perform on it. But what are the advantages, the merits and demerits of an array? The advantages is easy access using index, like we understood in the very first slide, the locker example. So one particular locker number, you can exactly go to that locker number, take out your data. Similarly, if you know the index, just by the index, the retrieval or the access of the element is pretty fast. Fast traversal, simple to implement. So there's no rocket science here. It's very simple to apply and exercise the beneficiaries of an array. But what are the cons? The demerits of an array is fixed size. If you declare an array of size 5, later in future, if you want to expand the size, or in case otherwise, if you want to shrink the size of an array, that is not possible. So you can neither increase nor decrease the size of an array. So it is fixed size. And insertion and deletion can be costly since shifting elements is required. So we can insert an element, a new element at a specific position, and delete an element as well. But again, that varies upon the size as well. So this we will discuss in detail in the coming videos, how costly is it going to be, that particular operation, okay? Because it will create again a new array and then shift all those elements. In the coming videos, we shall discuss and dive deeper into these aspects. But for now, the advantages are these, and the disadvantages is it has fixed size. You can neither shrink it nor expand it. So to overcome these disadvantages of an array, we will look for array list and linked list in our future playlists. This brings us to the end of the video. If you found something knowledgeable, then do like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned, and we shall see you on the next video of DSA.